Alright, it is time to start this playoff matchup. So, although this is scheduled on the game as the final game one, there are some other ones that have been done, but I'm not going to tell you the result of one of them because I will be uploading that tomorrow. Hello to Freedom, K-Hill 145, and 2020 NASCAR Stop Motion Series. We're about ready after Xbox 360 glitched out, I had to edit things and edit the rosters, but I was successful in doing so. So this should be interesting here between the Rockets and the Mavericks. So what has happened? Let's start with the East. The Cavs, the top seed, blew out the Nets pretty handily. You did see the Celtics struggling against the Magic. The Heat taking down the Bucks. And I'm trying to recall what the other East oh, that's the one I can't tell you about yet. As you'll see the starting lineups, Dennis Smith Jr., Jeremy Lamb, Batum, Barnes, and Ejri for the Mavericks. For the Rockets, Paul, Harden, Wiltshire, Trevor Ariza, and Clint Capella. Remember the last game of the regular season before my Xbox 360 went kaplooey, and that's the rosters we're going by, and the standings. The Rockets lost to the Cavs in a game that was live on here. So anyway, then in the West, Timberwolves 2 seed lost to the Grizzlies. Warriors lost to the Spurs. Thunder, the 4 seed, beat the Suns. And then there's here. And then we'll have highlights of Wizards Hornets up probably tomorrow. It'll be Capella and Mejri. 1 seed versus 8 seed. And the Mavericks get it. We've seen a lot of upsets in game 1. But the first 1 seed, it was the Cavs who went pretty handily over Brooklyn. Now let's see what happens here. Harrison Barnes is going to find Nicholas Batum. Back to Barnes, top of the key. Barnes is going to drive to the side, back into Mejri, back out Jeremy Lamb. Lamb drives in, loses the ball, Harden comes up with it. Here come the Rockets the other way. The bearded one lays it up and in off the glass, and the Rockets on top 2-0. So here we go. Dennis Smith Jr., the rookie. A lot of rookies participating in this year's playoffs. Nicholas Batum. This is Xbox One. This is NBA 2K18 on Xbox One. Smith Jr. Because my Xbox 360 went after I had 2K16 on there. Batum's going to shoot mid-range. That's not going to go. Capella with the rebound. Here comes Chris Paul the other way. Chris Paul with the top of the keys, guarded by Dennis Smith Jr. And as you might see in the description, it's true, the Progressive Cup Series race at Yonkers, as soon as this is over, I'm eating dinner, and then I'm recording that, so that should be up around 8:39 Eastern Time. As Harden hits that, it's 4-0. And in that race, 4 drivers will be eliminated before we head to Tiburon and Talladega for the round of 12, which should be fun. Meanwhile, here's Dallas, Dennis Smith Jr., guarded by Chris Paul. Batum, a long jumper. It goes, and it's 4-3. Here's Chris Paul. Paul at the top of the key. Dennis Smith Jr. guarding. And as I've said, either tomorrow or Tuesday, I'll have highlights out of the crazy Wizards Hornets game 1. That one went down to the wire and was insane. As Chris Paul steps back, working on the youngster. Really shaking and baking on him. Smith giving him all he's got. Free throw line. It's going to bounce around and go in, and it's 6-3. Here comes Dennis Smith Jr. now for Dallas, 2 minutes in. Last year's playoffs, I forgot who the Rockets played. I should have checked that. But I know the Rockets made it to the second round and then were eliminated by Golden State. And I think it's even on here. As here's a jumper. Harrison Barnes hits a 3 and we're tied. Dallas has really taken a step back from last season when they made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals and lost to the Warriors in the 2016-17 season. Sim Harden misses an open 3, Mejri the rebound. 9:15 to go here in the first quarter. Jeremy Lamb is going to find Dennis Smith Jr. Nice screen set there by Mejri. Smith Jr. blocked and into the hands of Harden. Remember, in this realm after last season on the 2K16 sim, Dirk Nowitzki retired and Kyle Wiltshire with the slam. Kyle Wiltshire with the big dunk, and it's 8-6. So meanwhile, Dirk Nowitzki and Vince Carter were the two that retired. So they are the two that had retired from that and are not in these playoffs. As inside Measury, back out Dennis Smith Jr., who pumps, working on Paul. Nice move, lays it up, too strong. Clint Capella gets in there for the rebound. Capella has become a much better rebounder as the years have gone on. Harden lays it up, draws the contact on Jeremy Lamb, and the Beard will head to the line. First free throw is golden from Harden, and it's a 9-6 lead. Second free throw for Jay Hay is also going to drop, and it's 10-6. Here comes Dennis Smith Jr. across the timeline here with 8:21 to go. So remember, so far in the West, as Barnes a jumper, that's going to rattle around, not go. Wiltshire secures the miss. Remember, in the West so far in the game ones, the Warriors fell to the Spurs, and then the Timberwolves lost to the Grizzlies, the 2 and 3 seeds going down. Thunder manhandled the Suns as a long jumper and Ariza hits the 3. Suns made it to the second round last year and were eliminated by this Dallas Mavericks team after beating the Clippers. Warriors. I don't know if I say Warriors weird. I have no idea. Measury is going to find Nicholas Batum. Meanwhile, the Thunder won by 32 points over the Suns, and Carmelo Anthony was the reason why. He scored 46. As Batum rattles one, it bounces around, doesn't go down. 13-6 now. Here's Kyle Wiltshire, a great season for him. Paul from 3, short, that would have made it a double-digit game. Capella misses the layup on the second chance opportunity. Here comes Dallas hustling with 7:15 to go in the first quarter. Here's Dennis Smith Jr. He's going to find Nicholas Batum. Batum, long 3, no good. 2 years ago in the 2015-16 season, Sim, Batum was a big reason why Dallas made it to the conference finals, where they ultimately fell to the Warriors, as Trevor Ariza tries his luck from long range. No, doesn't get it there. Batum was second in MVP voting behind Steph Curry in that sim. Smith Jr. hits that, and it's 13-8. In fact, it's really interesting to say that in the last 2 seasons of the season sims, and this is the third real one that I've actually done, even though this was a transition between 2 games, as Paul hits and makes it 15-8. Good start from CP3. It's been the same Final 4 teams both years. It was between the Cleveland Cavs and the Miami Heat both seasons in the East, and it was between Dallas and Golden State at the end in the West, and both years it was Cleveland and Golden State in the finals. That one, Measury throws it up over his head and it hits. What a shot by Salah Measury, who wasn't even looking at the basket, and Dallas cuts it to 5, and it's 15-10 now, just past halfway in the first quarter. So next weekend, I'm planning on some more live stuff, since I'm not going to have Progressive Cup Series for a couple weeks as Harden gets whacked and he's fouled, and he'll head to the line. Planning to have both NBA and MLB live at some point next weekend, as the first one's going to go down, and it's 16-10. Some changes here for Dallas. Jeremy Lamb is going to head to the bench, and Wesley Matthews, the 6th man, the veteran, is going to check into the game. Second free throw for the Beard goes down, and it's 17-10. Yep, very high scoring. Rockets already at 17, just past the halfway point of the first quarter. Dennis Smith Jr. is going to find Measury. Measury is going to find Batum. Batum, a 3. In and out. Rebound Chris Paul. Batum has really taken a step back from that near MVP season 2 years ago. As Capella tries to tip it in on the alley-oop, it doesn't go. Here comes Wesley Matthews the other way. Wesley Matthews finds Dennis Smith Jr. On the right side, Smith Jr. back to Batum. Batum at the top of the key. I'll remember that 96-78 is the prediction that we're hearing, as Nicholas Batum this time, third time's the charm, this time will hit the 3, as a pair from each team sit at the scorer's table eagerly waiting. So I don't know if you guys saw in the last video, I also announced that for next season, Season Sim, there will be as Harden a 3. That's good, and it's 20-13. That next season there will be 2 expansion teams. We're going to go to 32 teams. Seattle Supersonics are coming back, and they'll be in the West, and in the East, the Virginia Beach Bayhawks. So I'll have more info about that when the season comes closer. as we'll have a couple of expansion teams. It's a block, and here comes Chris Paul the other way. Paul steps back. Dennis Smith Jr. on him. 4:20 to go in the first quarter. Harden a jumper over Wesley Matthews. In and out. Rebound Mejri. Batum driving. Lays it up and in. And it's back within 5 as Nicholas Batum now with 8 points, even though he's just 3 of 7 from the field. Ryan Anderson is one of the Rockets who waits. He's been the 6th man on this team, as has Eric Gordon, both serving in that role as Chris Paul's stripped high exploder. Here comes Wesley Matthews, slowed up by Harden, now gets the momentum and throws it down with the right hand. And it's a one-possession game as Dallas makes it 20-17. This is the closest it's been since a couple minutes in. Now 3:40 to go in the first quarter. For those of you just joining us, Game 1 of the first round, and we're going a best of 5 in the first round instead of what is typically a best of 7 as Chris Paul hits from the right block and makes it 22-17. Top-seeded Rockets, 8th-seeded Mavericks, the final game of 8 of Game 1s. One of them has happened, but I'm not revealing the score because that will be a video in the next couple days because it was crazy as Mejri puts that in. So far already 3 home teams have gone down. Those being the Celtics losing to the Magic, the 4th seed, 2nd-seeded Timberwolves falling to the Grizzlies, and the 3rd-seeded Warriors getting upended by the Spurs by almost 20 points. As Harden gets room, a 3 is good. Nice spacing there by the Rockets, and the beard hits, and it's 25-19. Now under 3 minutes in the first quarter. Nicholas Batum, guarded by Wiltshire. Wiltshire's been quiet so far, aside from the one thunderous dunk. Batum's going to hit another 3. That one ricocheted off the back iron and went in. 25-22, and a timeout's going to be called here by Mike D'Antoni. Dallas looking happy as they've made it a 3-point game, and they're hanging tough here with the Rockets. Ryan Anderson's checked in. Courtesy of Gatorade, we'll see who's the new group. A whole new group for Dallas. Yogi Ferrell's out there with C.D. Osman. Wesley Matthews is in there, and we'll check afterwards on the rest. Chris Paul, Eric Gordon, Gerald Green, Anderson, and Nene for the Rockets. As a nice drive there by Paul to make it a 5-point game. Here comes Yogi Ferrell. Nerlens Noel is also in. I also have to check who the 5th player is who checked in. I didn't see exactly who that was. We'll figure it out. Wesley Matthews with it at the top of the key. Here's Yogi Ferrell. And that's Dwight Powell. So it's Wesley Matthews, Yogi Ferrell, C.D. Osman, Powell, and Noel as Matthews backs in short. Nice defense there from Gerald Green. Here comes Green the other way. And I did, as you'll see, I did completely update the rosters to what they were from earlier in the season, as Paul's going to back on the other game. Paul's going to back in. Nice move on Ferrell, can't hit. Nene blocked by Noel. Nene, great defense from Nerlens, and the Rockets blow all 3 opportunities. Here comes C.D. Osman the other way for the Mavericks. Just over a minute left now in the first quarter. Yogi Ferrell's going to back up. Nice crossover move on Chris Paul. Anderson comes over. That leaves Powell open in the paint. Kicks out Osman in the corner. Short. Nice rebound by Dwight Powell, who grabbed it over his head and puts it in off the back. And it's 27-24 now. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter from the Toyota Center. Chris Paul is working inside on Ferrell. What a move by Paul. Couldn't hit that one. Nerlens Noel the rebound. Mavericks can tie with a 3 and get within a single point. This is for the tie. And it's a 3, and it's good from Yogi Ferrell. And the Mavericks have tied the game with the Rockets. Will we see a 4th home team go down in Game 1? Be pretty surprising. Chris Paul's going to find Eric Gordon. Only ones who have been successful. As Gerald Green can't hit. Anderson the rebound. Anderson the putback's good, and the Rockets back on top with 26 seconds to go in the first quarter. Only ones who have been successful defending home court. Thunder beat the Suns. Cavs beat the Nets. And the Heat beat the Bucks. 3 seconds separating shot and game clock. I won't tell you the result of Wizards Hornets yet. You'll have to wait till either tomorrow or Tuesday for that video, because that game was crazy, and I've got all kinds of clips of that. Here's C.D. Osman. Osman, long J, no good. Paul's going to have a chance here from half court. short off the front of the rim. And that's the end of the first. So after one, the Rockets had led by as many as 9, but it's still just a 2-point game here on WUB Network. Interesting to hear there from Trevor Ariza talking about preparation before a game like this. Rockets don't look too prepared, though, for this Mavericks team, who just barely made it in by 1 game over the Pelicans into the playoffs. Here's Eric Gordon with it. The Mavericks, Pelicans, Jazz, and Clippers were separated by just 2 games for that final spot. Paul, wild shot's not going to go. He's played the entire game so far. Here's Wesley Matthews. Osman working inside. Osman doing the point guard duties. He's going to lose it out of bounds, and the Rockets take over. And Rick Carlisle doesn't look too pleased. Green will throw it into Paul. So far, it's been the story of Harden and Nicholas Batum. Both of them have been strong. It's Osman, Lamb, Noel, Dwight Powell, and Wesley Matthews, the 5 for the Mavericks. Paul, Green, Nene, Gordon, and Anderson, the 5 for the Rockets, as a missed 3 there. Now just shooting 4 of 10 is Chris Paul. He's missed his last 4 shots after starting the game 4 of 6. Osman met by Chris Paul at the top of the key. Feeds to the corner, Jeremy Lamb, no good. Rebound, Ryan Anderson. Here comes Eric Gordon the other way. Gordon with Lamb right up in his face. Gordon's had a great season, especially from beyond the arc, serving in the 6th-man role. 6-man / role player role here. Paul throws it up, tries for the alley-oop. Nene's going to recover and throw it down, and the Rockets are up by 4 now with 10:37 to go in the second quarter. Here's Osman. Yeah, I want to do some more streams, Freedom. Probably baseball and basketball next week. I just want to get back into the swing of these. As now I've got both the baseball and basketball games working and functioning as Dwight Powell puts that in. And I've got a lot of stuff between the baseball season and the basketball playoffs to get to. Because this is just game 1 of the first round. Ryan Anderson's going to find Gerald Green. Green into the corner, that's at Gordon. Gordon back to Anderson. Anderson to Paul. Paul, what defense from Osman. Paul steps back, and now he's going to hit after missing 4 in a row. Paul now with 10 points, and it's 33-29 Rockets now with 9:44 to go in the second quarter. You can see all the red Rocket t-shirts in here as Dwight Powell's going to put that in the paint. He was left wide open. I don't know if that was Nene or Ryan Anderson. Fisher, I saw that question. I don't know. It really depends on my time, and I like doing the baseball and basketball better, but I'll consider it for next year. As Gordon tries a 3, that's not going to go. Wesley Matthews with the rebound. Here comes Jeremy Lamb the other way. Lamb is going to pull up. That would have given them the lead for the first time all game, but it's not going to go. Here comes Chris Paul the other way. He's guarded by Osman. Here's Nene. Nene to Chris Paul. Paul, Green, corner, 3 is good, and it's 36-31. 8:47 left in the second quarter. Pass right down the floor to Powell, who misses right under the basket. Now he's going to kick out to Nerlens Noel. Nerlens Noel and Powell, this is not doing them any benefit, having both of the big men out of the perimeter. Noel's going to find Lamb. 10 to shoot now. C.D. Osman's got it. Osman's going to dribble towards the corner, steps in, little floater rolls around and goes in, and the Mavericks are hanging tough with the Rockets. It's a 3-point game now with 8:17 to go in the second quarter. Chris Paul finds Gordon. Now it's Nene. Nene to Gordon. Gordon crosses over, throws it up, draws the contact and the foul. Second on Jeremy Lamb in a game where we haven't seen that many fouls. Lamb isn't too happy with the call, and that will send Eric Gordon, a very good free throw shooter, to the line. Doesn't show it there, though. A bad free throw, and he misses. Some changes here. C.D. Osman's going to head to the bench for Dallas. Into the game comes Dennis Smith Jr. On the other side, Paul, Green, and Nene to the bench, replaced by Harden, Tucker, and Tariq Black, respectively. Wiltshire remains on the bench. That one rattles home. So Harden back in. Paul is finally on the bench after playing the first 16 minutes of the game. Here's Dennis Smith Jr. Flips to Jeremy Lamb. So a lot of Games 2s and Game 3s are going to get simmed during the week for this, and then I might have a couple highlights of those. And then any decisive Game 4 or Game 5 is going to get streamed next weekend. As rebound here by Lamb, especially if there's a series that could go down to an upset, especially if the Spurs have a chance to take out the Warriors, Grizzlies have a chance in the T-Wolves, anything like that. Or if Orlando takes out the Celtics, who have a healthy Kyrie Irving, that would just be crazy. 7 to shoot now. Here's Jeremy Lamb. Lamb feeds Dwight Powell. Bounces around and goes down, and Dallas is still hanging tough. It's a 2-point game. 7:17 to go. I believe that's Kyle Wiltshire headed to the scorer's table as PJ Tucker lines up and hits from 3, and it's 40-35. Smith to Lamb. Lamb to Powell. Now it's Noel. Wesley Matthews. Oh, what a move. Spins and throws it up under the basket and gets it to go. And Dallas still hanging within a single possession. 40-37. Batum and I believe Mejri at the scorer's table for Dallas. Just Wiltshire for Houston. A miss there. Dallas has a chance to tie. Into the corner. It's Matthews. He'll try it. In and out. And Ryan Anderson comes out of the scrum with the ball. Here's Harden. Throws it up. Fouled, and he'll go to the line. Dennis Smith with a foul. Harden's first free throw goes down, and it's a 4-point game. Here comes Barnes. Here comes Batum. Noel is also headed to the bench as Mejri comes in to join Smith and Powell on the court. I just saw I got a notification from somebody. I'll check that later. Wiltshire is going to check back into the game. Tariq Black remains in, and I believe Clint Capella is going to remain on the bench for the time being. As that one's going to go, 42-37. As does Ariza, so Tucker is in too. Dennis Smith Jr. is going to be going to the right corner now. Eric Gordon is on him. Now back to Dwight Powell, who's gotten a lot of solid minutes here for Dallas. Smith guarded hard by Gordon. Barnes open, 3 short. Tariq Black corrals the miss. Harden is going to find Wiltshire. Here comes Kyle Wiltshire. Oh, and a hard foul, and he goes down hard after a big collision with Barnes. Wiltshire a little slow to get up. Barnes is taking responsibility for that foul. Let's take a look at this collision again. Yeah, Barnes took him out. Lucky they're not calling a flagrant there as Wiltshire went down hard. Mike D'Antoni doesn't look too happy. Neither does Trevor Ariza. But Wiltshire looks all right. He's an important piece of this Rockets team. Second on the team in scoring this year in pretty much every shooting category behind Harden. As Tariq Black heads to the bench, and in will come Clint Capella. Tucker still remains in with Ariza on the bench. It's 5:56 to go in the second quarter. Both free throws go down for Kyle Wiltshire, so it's 44-37. Nah, yeah, you're right. It doesn't look intentional. Just trying to stop the ball. But now Dallas has to settle in because they're back down 7. Close to their biggest deficit of the day. Dwight Powell throws it up and draws the foul, and now this is just becoming back and forth in the fouling. First foul of the quarter for the Rockets. It's on Clint Capella. Powell is going to rattle the first one home to make it a 6-point game. Second free throw for Dwight Powell is also going to drop, so it's 44-39 now, with 5:41 to go in the second quarter. Here comes James Harden. 16 points for Harden. He's going to find Eric Gordon. Gordon is on the side, throws to Harden, now back PJ Tucker. Tucker thinks about a shot, but Powell is all over him, and he's stripped, and Powell takes it away. Here comes Dennis Smith Jr. leading the break. Long 2. Should have stepped in a little further. Now he's going to try the 3 to redeem himself, and he makes it. And just like that when it was a 7-point game, the Mavericks are back within 2 with 5:10 to go in the second quarter. I think that's Ariza at the scorer's table for Houston to check in any moment. Harden guarded by Dennis Smith Jr. on the left block. Harden drives, throws it up, and he's hit hard, this time by Salah Mejri, who picks up his second foul. And Harden looked a little shaken up for a second, but he looks all right. Not too happy about the collision there. Let's look at this from another angle. Yeah, Mejri came down. Mejri got him hard. I don't see where exactly he kind of kicked him, but I didn't see exactly where he got him, but it was pretty hard. Harden hits the first free throw, 45-42. Ariza's going to check in now for Eric Gordon. Second one's good, so it's 46-42 now, with 4:56 and counting left in the second quarter. Yep, what a game. Just when it looked like Houston was going to be on cruise control, they're up 15-6. Early. Dallas has battled back and kept this a game all the way through the first half. Barnes can't hit. Capella the rebound. Here comes James Harden. Harden's going to find Tucker inside. Tucker to Ariza. Ariza up and good. Trevor Ariza getting into the fun as the Rockets are now shooting 50%. Mavericks still a pretty respectable 47.2%. So the Rockets up by 6 now. It's loud here at the Toyota Center as Nicholas Batum spins, throws it up, and hits off the glass. 48-44 now with 4:09 to go in the second quarter. 13 points for Batum, trying to counter Harden as much as he can. Capella into the corner. P.J. Tucker in and out. Mejri with the rebound with the left hand. Here comes Batum ahead to Barnes. Barnes the step. No good. Capella the rebound. Here comes Ariza. Really horrible game from Barnes so far. Ariza can't hit. Tucker tips it in. It rolls and goes in. And it's 50-44 now as Tucker in his first season with the Rockets after spending some time with the Suns and the Raptors over his few years prior to this in the NBA. Finally getting a chance here on the big stage in the playoffs as the ball stripped. Mejri gets it back. Dennis Smith to Powell. Now to Batum in the corner. Just 7 to shoot, and he throws it right into the hands of Tucker. Here comes Houston. Capella throws it down hard with the right hand. 52-44 with 3:05 to go in the second quarter. Here's Nicholas Batum. Batum's going to drive, lays it up. No good. Rebound Dwight Powell, who's going to put it back in for Dallas. And it's 52-46 as Powell has had a big game off the bench. 12 points and 5 of 7 shooting. Explains why he's staying in at power forward for at least the time being. Trevor Ariza back to Harden. Harden with 8 to shoot. Drives, throws it up. No good, rattles away. Mejri the rebound. 2:27 to go now in the second quarter. Barnes a 3, trying to redeem himself. He misses. He's now 1 of 7 from the field. Rebound by Kyle Wiltshire. Hi to everybody who's tuned in. Trevor Ariza with it. This is game 1 of the first round, a best of 5 between the Rockets, the top-seeded team, and the Mavericks. Ariza, no good. Dwight Powell the rebound. Dennis Smith Jr. with it. Smith. Under 2 minutes in the second quarter. Powell. Smith. Powell! Oh, he tries to throw it in, but he is overthrown by Dennis Smith. Rockets will take over with some changes now for both sides as Chris Paul's going to check in. So, Ethan, if you're still here, you'll be excited to know that we're adding 2 teams next season for the next season sim. The Seattle Supersonics in the West, and to balance it out in the East, a team in Virginia, the Virginia Beach Bayhawks, as that one's going to be put in 54-46. Dennis Smith Jr. taking it across the timeline. 1:30 to go. So far, we've already seen 3 of the higher-seeded teams lose their game 1s at home, And the Rockets aren't doing too great. It's only a 6-point game. The Mavericks, who just barely squeaked into the playoffs, and probably wouldn't have if my Xbox 360 hadn't crashed about a month ago, they're still hanging in there. They somehow made it to the playoffs. Loose ball foul on Capella as Harden hits the bucket. Second foul on Capella. Measury got whacked there. Looks like that's Osman who might check in here as Barnes, Batum, and Powell all head to the bench. Actually, no, it's just Osman checking in. Batum and Barnes will move up to the forward positions. Wiltshire and Harden both depart here with a minute to go in the second quarter. This is an ideal opportunity for Dallas to try to get some points. Fisher, you'll be happy to see Reese's Puffs on the score. Actually, just as I say that, Mountain Dew is on there, but that doesn't really hurt. As Measury is going to put it up, it's blocked by Capella. Here comes Chris Paul. Over to Green. Green lays it up and in. Biggest lead of the day for the Rockets. They're up 10 with 40 seconds to go. Dennis Smith Jr. About 16 seconds separate shot and game clock. We're under 30 seconds here in the quarter. 10 to shoot now. Batum. Inside Barnes. Dallas desperate for a bucket, and they get it on Harrison Barnes' fadeaway. 58-50, 20 seconds in the second quarter. Gerald Green. Capella sets a screen. 6 seconds. Green is really holding back there. 3 seconds. He's going to have to chuck something up from way downtown, and that's not going to hit. I don't know what he was thinking. And the Rockets up by 8, but you would have thought that they would have been much further ahead, having been almost 20 games ahead of the Mavericks this season. It's only an 8-point game, so let's send it over to Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal. But first, let's send it to David Aldridge. All right, so let's send it over for the halftime report here. 58-50 here on WUB Network, America's sports leader.
And hello again. What a showing tonight. A sold-out building is where the action is happening. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith. Taking a look at the Rockets, they put themselves in decent shape to grab that all-important game of victory. So far, they've clearly been the better team, controlling the flow. By no means is it a runaway, but they put themselves in a great position. What do you think, Shaq, about the first half we saw from the Rockets?
They came out with the right mindset. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's the hard driving offensive approach I like to see. If they keep it up, unstoppable.
Kenny, how do you think Dallas played?
Well, it's never easy to play on the road, and the score reflects that. Just doesn't seem like they're well prepared for this matchup. Every time they tried to make a run, they got derailed. I think to refocus their efforts in the second half, they're going to need to play with a lot more determination for a chance to win this.
And that wraps up the halftime show. Third quarter set to begin in just a few.
All right, here we go. Second half about to begin here on WUB Network of Game 1. Here between the Rockets and Mavericks. Remember, so far in the Game 1s that we've seen, we've already seen 3 teams fail to defend home court in a best-of-5 series. Those being the Celtics losing to the Mavericks, Timberwolves losing to the Grizzlies, and the Warriors falling to the Spurs, while the Thunder destroyed the Suns, the Heat held on to beat the Bucks at home, and the Cavs, the other 1 seed like the Rockets, absolutely destroying the Brooklyn Nets. Here comes Chris Paul as we get started here in the second half. Chris Paul to Capella. Capella back to Wiltshire. Wiltshire, Paul, Ariza, Capella, and Harden as that one's missed. Wiltshire went for the rebound, but just too many Mavericks around him, and Nicholas Batum comes out of it, but Harden the steal, and it's a 3-on-0 break, and Harden throws it down hard, and that's a great way to start off this quarter. Big dunk there by Harden, and the Rockets have tied their biggest lead of the day, a 10-point game. Here's Dennis Smith. Feeds to Barnes. Harrison Barnes has really struggled. Just 2 of 9 from the field. Throws it up. That one's not going to go. Capella the rebound. Here comes Chris Paul. Wilcher. Wilcher open. That's good. They're going to say it's a 2. I thought that was a 3. But anyway, Kyle Wilcher, who's been pretty quiet today, I think that's now 8 for him, as the Rockets now lead 62-50 with 10:54 to go in the third quarter. Their biggest lead of this Game 1 matchup between 2 teams from Texas. All 3 Texas teams in the playoffs for the 3rd consecutive season. Barnes the jumper, that's good, and it's 62-52. Harden, Paul up to Wilcher. Wilcher hook shot is good. They could have also called a foul there, but he didn't get one. Now it's 8 points for Wilcher. Nicholas Batum a little better than him in the small forward position. But don't forget about James Harden and Capella, who have both been really strong for the Rockets. Here's Jeremy Lamb. Dwight Powell, probably the strongest player in the Mavericks so far today, is on the bench, as a 3 is good from Dennis Smith Jr. And it's 64-55 now with 10:07 to go in the third quarter. Not 12 anymore, Freedom. It's down to 9 as Chris Paul tries to get it back to double digits. Crosses over Smith. Nice pass inside Capella, who hits over a very ferocious Salah Mejri to make it 66-55 now with 9:50 to go in the third quarter. I still remember Skips TV's prediction that it would be 96-78 the final. Rockets are going to have to get a little further away if they want that to happen, as Mejri turns over the ball. Second really bad-looking turnover already in the third quarter for Dallas. Harden's shot is going to be short. Usually don't see Harden missing short on something like that. Batum drives. Really bad shot. Barnes throws it out Smith Jr. Dennis Smith Jr. has shot pretty well from the outside today, as has Batum. Barnes with it now. Harrison Barnes. A shot is no good. Barnes is now 2 of 11. 3 of 12, actually, for Barnes. Harden with it. Guarded by Lamb in the paint. Kicks it out. Wilcher on the perimeter. Back to Harden. That pass was a little low. Now gets it over to Paul. Here's Capella. Harden thinks about a 3. Now 5 to shoot. Harden working. Drives. Shot. Short again. A couple bad shots in a row from Harden after the ferocious dunk. Dallas really needs to take advantage of this if they want to get back into this game. We've already seen 2 and 3 go down in Game 1. Could the 1 seed in the West also fall? Miss there. Mejri cleans up the mess and puts it back in, and it's 66-57 now with 8:24 to go here in the third quarter. Here's Chris Paul. Chris Paul's going to find Harden. Harden stripped, stolen by Lamb. Jeremy Lamb on the run, a 2-on-3 break. Lamb throws it up and over Harden and makes it a 7-point game. 66-59. Paul met by Dennis Smith Jr. Here's Harden, a mid-range J is good, and it's 68-59. Here comes Jeremy Lamb. Ryan Anderson is ready for the Rockets. A couple wait for the Mavericks at the scorer's table. You know they want to get these guys some rest, so they're ready for the fourth quarter charge. Batum that rolls around and goes in, and Dallas has cut it back to 7, 68-61. Rockets had gotten it up to as many as 12 here early in this third quarter, so we've got 7:24 to go. Harden's got around 20 points in this game. He needs this 3, and he gets it as he rattles it home. Actually, just a 2. 26 now for Harden, the leading scorer for the Rockets. And you've got 15 so far for Nicholas Batum. Big day for Harden here in playoffs. Harrison Barnes is double-teamed, now out to Batum. Here's Jeremy Lamb with 5 to shoot. Lamb finds Batum. Batum contested a 3, no good off the back iron. Clint Capella corrals the miss. Here comes Chris Paul. Now 6:48 to go in the third quarter. Wilcher back to Paul. Paul flips Harden. Harden back Wilcher. Kyle Wilcher with 5 to shoot now. Out to Paul. Paul a 3. It goes, and the Rockets' lead is back to a dozen. It's 73-61 now with 6:27 to go in the third quarter. And Rick Carlisle wants to talk things over before it gets any bigger. Kyle Wiltshire, James Harden, Chris Paul all shooting pretty well here. As a reminder, in just a couple hours, 4 will be eliminated in the Progressive Cup Series playoffs as they head to Yonkers. With rain in the forecast, how's it going to all turn out as they head to Yonkers for the Dwayne Reed Big Apple 400? Chase Elliott starts in the poll. Who's going to win it at Yonkers? Jimmy Johnson won there earlier this season. Can he get the season sweep, or will someone else get in there and get the victory? Coming up in just a couple hours here on WUB Network, America's Sports Leader. So some changes here for the Rockets. Ryan Anderson is into the game. Here's Dennis Smith Jr. Smith, Lamb, Matthews, Powell, and Noel, the 5 for Dallas. Paul, Harden, Gordon, Tucker, and Ryan Anderson, the 5. So no true center in here right now for Houston. 3 to shoot now. Matthews, the fadeaway, not going to go. Ryan Anderson gets the rebound. A basket here could give Houston their biggest lead of the day. Harden's going to find Gordon. That's going to bounce in, and it's 75-61. A nice assist there from Harden. It's up to 14. You know, to be honest, that 96-78 prediction could be close. If it's a low-scoring fourth quarter, it is possible. I think it's going to be a little higher, though, than that on both sides. Lamb drives. Oh, what a slam by Jeremy Lamb on Harden. That could be a momentum shifter. Lamb's plus-minus was minus 12 for the day. Now he's trying to recover, and it's a 12-point game again. Anderson outside. He's a good three-point shooter, but couldn't get that one to go. A little too strong. Here comes Lamb the other way. Maybe some momentum shifting towards Dallas. They would need another bucket here to really solidify that. Dennis Smith Jr., his first playoff game. Guarded by Paul. Out to Lamb. To Powell, who's been strong. He's into the game. The second unit has been great so far. Matthews. Fader. Short. Not a good opportunity there. Gordon the rebound. He's going to take it all the way across towards between the circles at the three-point line himself. Gordon back to Harden. Harden out to Tucker. Paul, no good. Jeremy Lamb the rebound. Lamb is hustling ahead with 4:35 to go now here in the quarter number 3. Lamb's going to find Dennis Smith Jr. Smith drives, lays it up. It's good. Nice bucket by Dennis Smith Jr. who's having a strong day. 7 points in the first half and I believe 5 in the second, so that's 12 for Dennis Smith Jr. He's also had a few assists. C.D. Osman heads towards the scorer's table as Tucker is fouled from behind by Nerlens Noel. His first. Noel usually picks up a lot of fouls. Hadn't picked up any yet as P.J. Tucker heads to the line. 11-point game. Osman's going to check in for Dallas. Rockets also with a couple changes. Nene and Gerald Green will now join Anderson, Gordon, and Tucker out there. So it's all bench players in right now, aside from Dennis Smith Jr. Now 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. 12-point game. Rockets have been doing well from the free throw line and from beyond the arc. Leading Dallas pretty handily in both of those categories, which explains why they've got this lead. Wesley Matthews backing in. Out to Smith. Smith wide open for 3. He nails it. I don't know why there were no Rocket defenders over there. And it's a 9-point game now with 3:40 to go in the third quarter. P.J. Tucker now flips to Nene. Nene. Tucker. 3 is good. P.J. Tucker scored the last 5 for the Rockets, and they've come right back to make it a 12-point game again. And another timeout by Rick Carlisle with 3:21 to go in the third quarter. All right, so Nerlens Noel will throw it in. 3:21 to go. Here's Dennis Smith Jr. at the top of the key. He's guarded by Chris Paul. Smith back to Wesley Matthews. Matthews over to Osman. Osman really struggled when he was playing point guard. Now he's in at shooting guard. Osman's going to drive. Jumper is short. Gets his own rebound and tips it in. Nice job there by C.D. Osman. And it's a 10-point game. So it was hanging somewhere between 2 and 7 through the first quarter. Then it got up to hanging between 5 and 10 in the second. Now it's hanging somewhere between 7 and 12 here in the third quarter. As Gordon can't hit, let's see though if Dallas can come back, as they are down 10. 80 to 70, not much time left, only 2:33 to go in the third quarter. Matthews almost loses the ball. 8 to shoot. Nice screen set by Powell. Matthews gets an open lane and drives and hits it. 80 to 72. Mavericks now shooting 49%. What a day from the Rockets, though. Almost 53% from the field. Any day a team can shoot over 50% is extraordinary in this league, especially with how good the defense is. Paul's had a bad day shooting, though, and he misses the fader. Paul is the only starter in right now for Houston. Dennis Smith, a three-pointer, could get this back to a 5-point game. Here's Smith. Over to Powell. 5 to shoot. Smith trying to get some room. Drives. He's going to have to throw something up. Noel gets it back before the shot clock violation. He actually got a shot off, but it's not going to go. Here's Gerald Green. Over to Chris Paul. Paul is going to drive. Loses the ball. Nice poke away there by Dennis Smith, who was really battling the legendary point guard well. Wesley the fader. That's going to rattle in, and it's a 6-point game. That's the closest it's been, actually, since the second quarter. 80 to 74 now with 1:08 to go in the third quarter. Paul throws it up. That was an awful pass right into the hands of C.D. Osman. Osman the shot. Splash, and just like that, it's a 4-point game now with 57 seconds left in the third quarter. Dallas led by as many as 14 here in this third quarter. Pardon me, Houston did. Here's Nene. Nene back to Paul. Paul out to Gordon. They need this. It's short though. Nerlens Noel the rebound. And now Dallas has an ideal opportunity for 2 for 1. Inside, Powell drives and rattles it in. And it's a one-possession game. Closest it's been since early in the second quarter. Dallas has actually never led in this game. This is the closest it's been since it was 33-31 with about 10 minutes left in the second. Big run here, a 10-0 run for Dallas. Gordon, 5 to shoot. Paul in the corner. No good. Nene the rebound. They can hold for the last shot with 13 seconds. Last time Gerald Green had the ball, he held it and took a stupid shot. Let's see what he does here. Drives in, misses. Noel the rebound. And stepping out of bounds, losing the ball, was Dennis Smith Jr. That's painful. Dallas could have tried to tie the game before the end of the quarter. Dwight Powell's going to head to the bench. Not as effective as his first entrance into the game. Barnes is in, and Batum's going to replace Dennis Smith, who I bet Rick Carlisle is very upset with. 3 seconds. Paul backs up. Shimmy shake. At the buzzer, no good, and we'll head to the fourth in a close game. 2 and 3 in the West have lost at home in their game ones, and thanks to Jeremy Lamb and Dennis Smith Jr., Mavericks are trying to knock off the top-seeded Rockets in game 1 of just a best-of-5 first-round series. Can they steal one? In the battle of 2 teams from the Lone Star State, we'll see when we're back with the NBA playoffs on WUB Network, America's sports leader. See what Rick Carlisle had to say to his team. Well, he's convincing them to try to stay with it. He's probably very happy with that last minute, aside from the one big mistake from Dennis Smith Jr. Here's C.D. Osman. Dallas with it, start of the fourth quarter. In game 1, the final game 1, there was one other one that we'll have highlights up probably Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of that. And then we'll start simming games 2 and 3, maybe some highlights. And then next weekend, we'll be live with some decisive ones. As Osman drives and throws it down, it's a 12-0 run for Dallas. And they've tied the game for the first time since it was 0-0 at the start of the game. All the way back have come Dallas on a 12-0 run. Paul, Wilcher, Nene, Anderson, and Gerald Green in. Anderson, the fader. That's good. What a shot by Ryan Anderson to break the slump for Houston. 82-80 now with 11:10 to go in the game. Capella and Ariza right at the scorer's table. Harden still remains on the bench. Batum's been quiet since the first half. Finds Osman. Osman stripped. Here comes Chris Paul the other way. Wiltshire with room. Steps into 1 from 10. Banks it home, and the lead's back to 4 for Houston. Little bit more breathing room. Wiltshire hasn't taken many shots today, but he's made all 4 of them. Sometimes he gets a little crazy with the shooting, but we've noticed in his career in the playoffs, he really eases up. What a dunk, but a foul. Actually, that's a defensive foul. I thought it was on Barnes at first. That's going to count. What a dunk by Harrison Barnes, and Nene the guilty culprit. Watch this dunk by Harrison Barnes. Big two-handed slam, ferocious from a man who's really struggled in this one. That one misses short. He's been a part of 4 straight teams who have made it to the conference finals. The Warriors, who made it to that 3 years ago, and the Mavericks, who have made it the last 2 years. Laying it up, and it's good for Trevor Ariza, and it's a 4-point game with 10:18 to go. Here's Osman with it. Osman over to Wesley Matthews. Back to Osman. 10 to shoot now. And a foul's going to be called. An illegal block on Batum. Rockets ball. Wesley Matthews heads to the bench. Lamb's going to come back in. So Dennis Smith Jr., the lone starter on the bench for the Mavericks. Some changes for the Rockets. Harden's going to check in. So all the starters are in except for Dennis Smith Jr. Harden a 3. That's good from way downtown with a bunch of defenders around him. What a shot from Harden. The Rocket lead is back to 7. Rockets have led the entire game. It was 80-68. It came back to tie it, and now a 9-2 run for Houston. Osman tries from long range, and that's going to go. Nice shot from C.D. Osman, who's doing pretty good in the shooting game. Here's Chris Paul. Paul struggled on his shot today and hasn't had that many assists to really balance things out. Harden met by Lamb. Lamb guarding him tough. Lamb's been good on the defensive end all day. What a block by Mejri. Right into the hands of Capella. Hook shot no good. Big mess under the basket. And Harden's going to be called for an over-the-back foul on Jeremy Lamb. Boos echo out through the Toyota Center as it's getting physical here with just 9 minutes to go. It's been a physical game ever since that big contact with Wiltshire just a couple minutes into the game. Here's Batum. 9 minutes to go here from the Toyota Center in game 1. Barnes spins. Shot is no good. It rattles out, and the tough day continues for him. Here's Harden. Jay Hay's been strong. Fadeaway 3. Oh, if he had sunk that, it would have gotten crazy in here. Wiltshire tipped it 3 times and got the ball back. Harden inside to his teammate. No good. This time, Osman's going to take it. 8:37 to go here. Osman into the corner. That's Jeremy Lamb. Lamb spins. It's Harrison Barnes now. Back to Jeremy Lamb. Lamb to Batum. Batum. 6 to shoot. Shot gets hit hard. No good. Capella the rebound. Here comes Harden on the break. Harden kicks. Ariza wide open. Left elbow. Bounces and goes in. And the Rockets are back up 6. 11 points now for Trevor Ariza, who's quietly gotten into double figures. And it's the Rockets 91. The Mavericks 85 with 7:57 to go. Here's Harrison Barnes with it. Barnes drive. Shot is good. It rattles home. 4-point game now. 7:43 to go here in the Lone Star battle between the 1-seeded Rockets and the 8-seeded Mavericks. Harden making some crazy moves, but he loses the ball. Lamb's going to take it the other way. Jeremy Lamb, 7:28 to go. Batum the jumper. No good. Rebound Capella. Here comes James Harden the other way for the Rockets. Harden into the corner. That's Wiltshire. Wiltshire gets around Batum. Steps back. No good. Both teams struggling from the field the last minute or so. Here comes Lamb. Lamb the jumper. Lines it up. Bounces over the backboard out of bounds. Rocket ball with 7:10 to go. Dennis Smith Jr. is going to come back into the game. Osman to the bench. Osman's been a strong player so far for Dallas. Osman didn't even join the Mavericks till January, and has really assumed the role almost as a sixth man type with Wesley Matthews and Nerlens Noel as the first three off the bench on this team. Capella to Harden, over to Chris Paul in the corner. Under 7 minutes to go. Paul backing in on Smith Jr. That's been a good matchup all day, and Paul still can't hit. He's really, the shooting woes just continue for him. Batum with it now, 6:41 to go. Now, for any Rockets fans here, I know it's probably getting intense for any of you watching. I know, Freedom, you're a big Rockets fan. It's probably getting pretty intense right now. 5 to shoot. Dennis Smith Jr. drives in. Nice move on Paul. It's short. Ariza the rebound. Here come the Rockets. 6:20 to go. Kyle Wiltshire inside. Harden under the basket. It's good. 93-87. 6:12 to go here in the fourth quarter. Last time we had a live broadcast of the game, it was the final regular season game between the Cavs and Rockets that was crazy, as Smith is fouled by Paul, his first, and Dennis will head to the line. That one came down to Dwayne Wade beating a Western Conference opponent for the second time during the season on a buzzer beater. He did it against the Warriors, then he did it against the Rockets. First free throw, no good for Smith. That's already 3 missed free throws for Dallas here in the fourth quarter. He will rattle that one home, so it's a 5-point game. So remember, it was 80-68. Mavericks went on a 12-0 run, and then the Rockets have really started to stretch it out, tried to at least to stretch it out since then. Second half of the final quarter now. Harden trying to deke out Lamb, but Lamb's going to steal it from him. Another Harden turnover. Lamb leading the charge, lays it up, draws the foul, and Harden's second. He can't believe it. Now the Rockets don't have a foul to give for the rest of the quarter. And Lamb to the line. That one rolls around and goes in, so it's 93-89. Second free throw is money for Lamb as well. And it's a single possession game now with 5:41 to go. Chris Paul over the Harden. Harden to Wiltshire. Wiltshire over to Chris Paul. Paul's going to drive. Backs up. What a shot. Can't finish it off, though. Jeremy Lamb coming the other way. Dallas can tie it with a 3. They're going to drive inside. Batum lays it up. Draws another foul. This time it's Wiltshire. Already 5 fouls in the quarter on the Rockets. Dallas in the bonus here with still 5 minutes to go. And for those not really familiar with basketball, the bonus means that whenever they are fouled now the rest of the game, they automatically shoot free throws. Dallas so far in the game, 6 for 8 from the line. Rockets are a very strong 13 for 14. Batum hits both. It's a 1-point game with 5:21 to go from the Toyota Center. The NBA best Rockets, who beat the Cavs for best record in the NBA this season by one game. And now James Harden's going to hit a 3, and it's 96-92. 9th assist for Paul. 5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Dennis Smith over to Batum. Batum drives, lays it up and in. Nicholas Batum, this is when he really steps up. And it's 96-94. Mavericks shooting much better than the Rockets here in the second half. Really making up for it, and that's why they've been able to gain into this game. Here's Capella. Capella to Harden, over into the corner to Paul. Up to Capella, who flushes it hard. An alley-oop, Lob City, and we're not in LA, we're in Houston. Paul with the lob up to Capella for the dunk. And it's a 4-point lead with 4:21 to go. Dennis Smith Jr. guarded by Chris Paul. Smith gets around Paul. That's been a great matchup to watch all game. Mejri almost loses it, blocked by Capella. Gets it back and puts it in. Nice way sticking with that by Mejri, and it's a 2-point game. Quite a test for him matching up with Capella here, and he's done pretty well. And another turnover. 4th steal by Lamb of the quarter on Harden. Dallas can take the lead with a 3. Barnes back in the perimeter behind the 3-point line. Back to Dennis Smith Jr. Smith Paul is all over him, trying to get that ball. Nice screen by Batum. 5 to shoot. Smith, guarded by Wilcher. Smith a 3. Short. Rebound Harden. 3.5 to go. Here comes Wilcher. Wilcher's first miss of the day. Dennis Smith Jr. the rebound. It is loud, and a foul's going to be called on Capella, his third, and with the bonus, Smith heads to the line. If the Rockets lose this game, they can blame the fouls early in the fourth quarter, but Smith has been absolutely a travesty from the line today. I believe that's already his third miss. I think he's only 2 of 5 so far. Does get that one, does get a lucky bounce. Hasn't swished one from the line all game. Actually 2 of 4 from the line. 17 points for Smith. Harden under the basket, puts it in. 36 for James Harden, 10 of which have come from inside the painted zone, and the Rockets lead 100-97 with just over 3 to go in game 1. Batum to Smith. Smith steps back. The J is short. Rebound Capella. Here comes Chris Paul the other way for the Rockets. Paul over to Wilcher. Wilcher, crazy shot is good, and the Rockets lead by 5. Paul with 10 assists. Wilcher having a great game. And the Rockets are back up by 5 and have a little more breathing room. 2:36 to go. Lamb to Smith. Smith a deep 3. Oh, if he had hit that, that would have completely changed the complexion of this one. Now Harden's on the run to the basket. Whacked hard. Gets it to go in the foul. Harrison Barnes with the foul. What a shot by Harden, and it is a 7-point game with 2:26 to go. Look at this MVP chance ring out here at Toyota Center. And he's definitely a deserving candidate, and after 39 points here in game 1, and if the Rockets win it, he's going to be the one they can credit. 105-97, 2:20 to go. Now, if you're the Mavericks, you really got to see. Try to get some open shots. Try to get Batum involved. Lamb shot well, too. Maybe keep it out of the hands of Dennis Smith, but just as they say that, he shoots. And he's going to rattle home a 3, and it's a 5-point game. Dallas has just been a game of lucky bounces on many occasions. Now 2 minutes to go from the Toyota Center. Harden flips to Wilcher. Yep, it has been, Jarrett. We're going to have another game probably next weekend. I'm going to sim games 2 and 3, and if there's any decisive games or a chance for an upset, we'll definitely do that. Big miss there by Trevor Ariza. Batum's going to drive. Jumper from 16, he sticks it, and just like that, it's a 3-point game with 1:39 to go. That's now 21 for Nicholas Batum. Chris Paul, guarded by Dennis Smith Jr. Under 1.5 minutes here in Houston. James Harden, guarded by Lamb. Harden lays it up, fouled. Medjugorje with the foul. Dallas still does have one more to give for the future, but that was a shooting foul, and Harden will head to the line. The MVP chants ring out, but he misses the first free throw. They'll still chant it. 2 timeouts left for both teams. He nails that one. 40 points for James Harden. That's the most so far in the playoffs. 39 for Carmelo Anthony for the Thunder against the Suns in their game 1 is the most before this. LeBron had 36. Dennis Smith Jr. is going to put that in under the basket, and it's a 2-point game with 1:10 to go. Here comes Chris Paul. 1:06 to go. Chris Paul over to Harden. Harden a 3. Short, tipped, out of bounds. Rockets retain possession with 55 seconds to go. Medjugorje is so frustrated that he couldn't secure that rebound. You know they want to get it to Harden. They do. He's 4 of 7 from long range. Chris Paul has not shot well. I wouldn't have him shooting here, and I don't know why Harden's under the basket. Now here he comes. Wilcher's been just as effective. Capella back to Paul. Here's Harden now. 6 to shoot. Harden works on Batum, steps back, a 3. No, rebound Medjugorje, 30 seconds. Dallas has a chance to tie or take the lead. Smith to Lamb. Loudest defense chant we've heard all season in in Houston. Mejri inside Lamb. Lamb backs up. Lamb, 5 to shoot. Breaks through. Shot. Short. Rebound Mejri. Putback is good with 7 seconds to go. Timeout Houston. 106 with 7 seconds to go. Dennis Smith Jr. having a big game here. We are tied with 7 seconds to go. Yep, and Dennis Smith Jr. has been strong. 7 seconds. Can Harden win it for the Rockets? They'll give him the ball. Working on Lamb. Harden drives. Kicks Capella. Capella throws it up. No good. Timeout Dallas with 0.3 on the clock. What a game we're witnessing. They'll get a chance to just throw something up here, but I doubt they're going to have time to really get a decent shot off. Batum's going to try to get something in. Lamb's not going to get it off. We'll head to overtime. We're going to send it to Kevin Harlan for overtime because I have to eat dinner, but anyway, it's a good game. Tied at 106. We head to overtime.
Dallas will get the first possession. And going into new line in his post-regulation time. There's overtime now, looking to an exciting one. All queued up and ready to go to overtime next to ball here. One to his fine Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. On the floor for Dallas. Actually, is up there with Ed Smith. And those for two. And it's Lynn and both the shooting guard position. The Mavericks trail. Smith's got 24.
You know, you can't give Smith a clear lane to the hole, Kevin. I mean, when he sees it, he gets right into the defense and takes advantage of the speed.
McCollum is the unloads from 13. And for Williamson. And for the Mavericks, they're shooting 51% from the field. That's it. And for two, Smith. Picks up the pick. Down low. Smith with the assist that time.
And really good to see Powell playing within the offense and taking quality shots and riding his hot hand.
Screen by Capella. And here's Harden to a three. Powell pulls it in. The Mavericks lead it. Guys, they've seen some excellent offensive output.
They had great momentum for them offensively.
Rockets have gone 1-3 for the floor since the start of overtime. Two with the steal. And here we go. Let's go.
Got to wonder just how big those picks are going to be. A swing like that could decide the outcome.
Screen by the belly. And Harden with the drive. Easy layup after coming off the pin. Harden's got 44.
How good is that? Harden handing the ball in these moments. Love stepping up. That's just poor decision making. He's got to be better in those situations. I just think he was in a hurry. He got out rushed him. The word is spacing there. In a brain neutral position.
Rocket 6. Over the screen. Smith gets the layup. Rebounded by Capella. Capella's got 15 rebounds here tonight. Over the corner. Harden. Good. And Paul gets the assist. Harden's got 46 points. Always better to be competing than good with some offensive rebound. The question is, what is he is, and those two bigs are all about skill. Here's Smith. Good shot inside. Good run defensively by Miller. And the basket good by Messer.
Perfect execution. The size mismatch was there, and they just ran.
1:14 to go. I gotta eat dinner, so we'll just see what happens. It's tied at 1:14 now.
So now as it comes down to this,
Time for your stars to shine.
it's 9 seconds to make the shot clock again. That's to Wiltshire. Feeds it to Anderson. They got it. Dallas will take possession.
And what a time to get sloppy. Full speed like this, you cannot be with the ball.
Dallas calls timeout. Here's Smith. Dishes it to Lamb.
10 seconds. Jeremy Lamb, or are we going to go to double overtime and I'll just leave you some more? Let's see. Smith for the win. No good. Timeout Rockets. 1.5 on the clock. They've still got a chance.
A score tied at 1 1 second left in the first overtime.
They get it to Harden. The win. It's good. And the Rockets win it. James Harden wins it for the Rockets. 116 to 114 in overtime. And they win game one. Unbelievable.
Not just for weeks, but for years.
And so it's a real big movement. Working out to get up. A big playoff win for them.
What a shot by Harden. And the Rockets win it in overtime.
I really just love the composure with which they played today.
What a game. I did not expect an overtime and a buzzer beater here. 48 for Harden. Hope you enjoyed.